Mic checks echo, I'm the sound of the brawl. Canvas creaks, flesh slaps, bodies rise and fall. Steel cage dreams, no escape. All pain, blood stains mixed with the sweat and the chain. Adrenaline surging my veins, spit fire. Crowd chants feeding my soul's desire. Turnbuckles tremble when my wrath collides. Glory's the belt and I'm taking the pride. Boom. The squared circle where legends collide. Boom. No mercy, just a wild ride. Boom. Like flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom. The squared circle digest. Pyros ignite, shadows dance in the glow. Ringside roar, it's a gladiator show. Chokeholds tighter than the grip of the night. Climbing the ropes to new championship heights. The mat's a battlefield, no room for doubt. Every move calculated, every scream a shout. The bell tolls louder than a sinner's regret. This is the place where the bold never forget. Boom. The squared circle where legends collide. Boom. No mercy, just a wild ride. Boom. Like flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom. The squared circle digest. Boom. The squared circle where legends collide. Boom. No mercy, just a wild ride. Boom. Like flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom. The squared circle digest. Circle Digest!
We are live. It is the Squared Circle Digest. I am Sean Stanley. He is the great Frankie Fresco. And together, we do this little show called the Square Circle Digest. I will be talking to Frankie after the show because we're going to have to renegotiate some contract and stuff like that, but we'll discuss that off the air. We won't make it public.
We can't make it public.
I kid. Frankie Fresco, how you doing today, sir?
Good, man. Just very intrigued at some of the topics we're going to talk about today because, man, it's getting wild in that TKO side.
It's going to be very interesting as everything plays out. I think it's going to be even more interesting to see how this goes because you know what? Let's roll into it right now. Frankie Fresco. So TKO released a whole bunch of wrestlers from the divisions of NXT, Raw, and SmackDown. Then all of a sudden it comes out that the New Day was asked to restructure their contracts, and they were going to be let go, or they didn't want to restructure their contracts. They're going to be let go. Then JC Mateo and Tama Tonga, right? It was Tonga, right? They were let go. The interesting stuff here is, as I think about this, remember, Santos Escobar was let go. He was part of the wave. So I'm wondering if he was actually, because what happened, for those that don't know, was apparently, I guess, when they were doing the releases or not going to renew their contract when it came up, if their days were almost done, apparently they were also going through and they offered quite a few contracts. Restructuring is what the word was. Some 20, some 30, some 40. Some up to 50% restructuring. Now, there's been talk, and again, all this I'm going off of is from the talk I've heard. No names have come out. There has been suggested that a high-named or a high-tiered talent did take almost, I believe, a 50% cut, if the story is true.
That is true.
Kofi and Xavier Woods, which will now probably be Apollo Creed, decided that, you know what, we are not taking these, because the interesting part was this, because I read a story right before coming on air, and they said a lot of these restructures were contracts that TKO kind of picked up. That's bullshit in the case of the New Day because they just re-signed last year through 2030 or 31, some people said.
Yeah.
With multi-million-dollar deals. So, again, a lot of stuff flying out. Now it come out that TKO's thinking is, well, we're not having you guys do live shows anymore. You're not wrestling. You're wrestling not even half the dates you were wrestling before. Some are wrestling between 45 and 60 dates a year. And they're making the same big money that they were making before. From a business standpoint, it makes sense. I mean, if you look at it as far as you're working less, but again, here's where my problem goes. You've already agreed on a contract. You're trying to restructure this contract. I mean, even in the NFL, you can restructure deals, but the people make the money that the contract was signed for. They just have different ways of doing it. Oh, we're going to take the $30 million that's due to you and give you a $20 million signing bonus. So now we only owe you 10.
Yeah.
That's what they call restructuring a deal. Restructuring a deal isn't, well, we signed you to $8 million a year, but that was before we decided to take away the live shows because we were cutting costs that way. And now we're going to cut costs this way by taking away up to 50% of your contract to make it for $4 million a year. And again, not everybody's making that type of money.
No.
That's being asked to restructure these deals. But Frankie, this is going to be a big problem because TKO is trying to run this the way they ran the UFC. And the problem with it is, to me, my problem that I see is WWE is more like movies, more like the entertainment side, not the sports side like UFC. UFC, you'll pay big money to go watch two guys or two gals get in the ring and beat the crap out of each other or out wrestle each other or, jiu-jitsu or whatever your vice is. But that's a sport. So you will pay to go to the event knowing that, that there's going to be a winner and a loser, however you want to look at it, but it's a sport. Wrestling is not a sport in that way. So my worry is that down the road, again, this will probably be further down the road, but at some point, the stars have to be paid. The supporting cast has to be paid. Whether they're doing one show, 10 shows, 50 shows, 60 shows. Because to me, TKO is setting a precedent now to where I will never sign a multi-year deal with TKO. I will sign a one-year deal, and we'll talk about it next year again. Because why am I going to sign a 3-year deal when you're just going to cut me?
Well, in my opinion, if I was to sign with WWE, I would have to include in their guarantees. Because if they're going to go ahead and release me after a year and I have a 3-year contract, then at least with the guarantees, I'm 100% sure that I'm going to get my money.
You're
so
never going to get that.
I mean, again, that is something that if I had my representation, my lawyer, whoever is helping me set up my contract and make sure it is, implement that in some form or fashion. Now, obviously, high-end talent can get away with certain things, and they'll make exceptions for them. The Roman Reigns, the Cody Rhodes, and we'll talk about Roman Reigns in a minute. The CM Punks, but my concern with all this is what you just finished saying is that they're turning this into the UFC. They want to be very, very cheap with everything while being still very, very profitable. They're making it seem like they're broke. And that's why they have to do these cuts, these releases. But they're banking. I mean, The Rock just came out, he was making a crap load of money off of being part of the WWE TKO. So it's like you have all the hierarchies in TKO making buku money, and then you're shitting on your talent, which is what is making you money, right? Like these are the guys who are performing and gals that are performing and are selling shows for you night in and night out. And here's my issue with this. If I was in WWE right now, if I was a talent in WWE, I think I would be scared of what the future holds because I don't know if they're going to come in 6 months to a year and tell me, Frankie, you're gone. We're letting you go. To the point where my options are now all of a sudden going to open up. And now I'm going to be looking at other companies even before they come and approach me. So especially if I'm like talent that is not being used and I'm making good money. The fact that they went ahead and they made somebody take a pay cut, which in my opinion, I don't have the name of the wrestler, but
Yeah.
I have the feeling, I don't know why, but I have the feeling it was Penta. I think they paid a good money at Penta, and I
don't
think,
it was Penta.
I don't know, man. I think Penta.
I personally think it was.
I don't think so, man. I don't think so because I feel that Penta would be making more money than LA Knight. To be real honest with you, that is just me though. Like when they brought Penta on board, they paid him a crap load of money. So it's like he was still part of that group of people that were getting paid as they were bringing them in. So that's the only reason why I feel. Now, I don't know about you, but I do watch the podcast with the coach, and the coach actually said that he knows who actually got the pick. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of insiders, a lot of people in the wrestling business that know who it was who took a pay cut. So they're probably we'll eventually get it. Somebody's gonna spill the beans. Somebody's gonna say something eventually. And I mean, they specifically mentioned 4 people, right? I believe it was Penta, LA Knight, Dominic Mysterio, and there was one more. I forgot who it was. I think it might have been Rusev. I think it would have been he's the other one. But I think those are the 3 that they specifically mentioned. But again, man, my concern here is the future of WWE because if they're doing this with right now and they're lowballing everybody by going ahead and cutting and telling everybody, hey, you got to take a pay cut because there is no house shows. There is no you're only going to be doing 4 or 5 matches each live show, so you're probably not going to work. What does this say about your talent, about your future talent, about your current roster? Like, how much are they going to go and, like, cut out there? And how much are they going to be offering a lot of these wrestlers? And is this going to hurt these wrestlers in the long run? Because they're trying to kind of, like, project the market, bro. They're trying to, like, lower it down as much as they can.
They're trying to make the most money for the shareholders, because when they do that, then they make an increase in money.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If you lower the market, if you lower how much you pay these wrestlers, then what AEW, TNA is going to offer these wrestlers if they decide to go somewhere else, it's not going to be the same amount or even more than what WWE was offering. So it's lowering little by little how much these wrestlers can make. So they're trying to manipulate the market to the point where they're like, hey, look, which is what they do in the UFC. They pay maybe a handful of guys.
But in the UFC, there's no competition that can keep up with any of the pay.
I don't think AEW and TNA
can. AEW can. TNA,
I don't think so.
Unless they get a backing. But AEW could keep up with something like New Day. I think they already knew. We can go over there and make around the same money.
Here's my issue with AEW.
But again, not everybody's going to be, in the same realm of what New Day has been and what some of these, the names that they're bringing over. Not everybody does that. So, but here, real quick, before you get into this, I just want to talk about, because this came out, I believe, a couple days ago. So in 2024, Ari Emanuel was making $18 million a year. Do you know what he's making in 2025?
Well, didn't I mention it last week? I think I mentioned it to you like 20,000 times, and it was like 62 million or something like that, right?
67 million, a 272% increase.
And you know what?
Mark Shapiro did a 33% increase. He was making 32. He went to 43. Nick Khan was making $6 million a year. Now he's making 24. And there's one other gentleman here. Andrew Schleimer was making $8 million. He's now making $23 million, almost a 200% increase. And again, all of that is off of them allowing to raise the shareholders and stuff, man. That's the thing.
But here's the thing,
They
Sean.
don't care about anything but the bottom line because it's a public company. It's a publicly traded
But
company.
I was telling you all this last week. I was telling you that cutting these people that were working was not the right move because these hierarchies are making buku money. And then they went ahead and they cut more people. And then on top of that, they're doing pay cuts. So at the end of the day, what gives them the justification to do this to their roster?
You're working less days. Again, they used to do 150 days a year. They're doing not even, I mean, if you include pay-per-views and how many people are on every pay-per-view, you're on Raw. If you're on Raw, that's 52 weeks a year. If you're on SmackDown, that's 52 shows a year if you're on every one of them. And if you're on a PLE, you add what, 11, 12? So up to 63 matches a year now. It is cut in half. And again, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's why they're saying, look, we were paying you that when you, but again, TKO is the one that took away the live shows because they didn't want to pay the money for the logistics of doing live shows.
And so when it comes to like the New Day, I think they obviously made the right choice because they know that their name goes well beyond TKO, well beyond WWE. They
Yeah,
know
and to
they
be honest, what were they doing? Honestly, what were they doing at this point? Nothing.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
were
I mean,
being kept at home. There's no creative. There's no nothing. If you stay there, yeah, you take a pay cut and you take home money, but they haven't had anything for you for the last 2 years that have been anything good. I mean, you've been doing the backstage stuff with Grayson Waller, and then you come out and you get beat, and you know that. So again, to me, I think they looked at it and they said, you know, again, I don't think they're going to make the money they're making at WWE, but if they make some of it and they're getting to work, it's a win for them. Because again, they've also been getting paid up until now.
Yeah.
To me, Kofi and them seem like they're smart with their money, and they have family, and so I think, you know, they probably got the ducks lined up to where they can say, you know what? All right, then I'm not taking a pay cut. Because again, here's the problem with the people that are taking pay cuts, as you said, and you kind of pointed out that you're kind of setting a precedent. You're saying, okay, you know what? I see your point and you're right. Now, again, some people have different issues. Maybe they aren't great with their money, you know? So maybe they were using that money and not putting it away and doing whatever they want to do. So now they need to keep that check coming in. So they have to take the pay cut, whatever it was. Again, if you're making, you know, $3 million and you get cut to 1.5, you're still making 1.5 million. Now, I don't know what, you know. So but those are setting precedent, especially when it's higher tiered talent doing it.
no, and not only that, at the same time, the up and coming talent that is actually working, they're not gonna get the amount of money that they were expecting.
Oh no,
right?
those days are over. Those days are over. You're done. They're done.
It's gonna be like that's what I'm telling you. They're changing the market completely.
You're going to have to be Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, one of those people to get, you know, tiered money, because now they're
and
just
I don't even think they're gonna respect that either, bro. Because you saw what was going on with Roman Reigns, and we could talk about that too. But again, it's just to the point where how
But see,
much
there's
is too
two
far.
different stories going on with the Roman Reigns thing. So
All right, we'll get
can-
into it in a minute.
yeah,
but
yeah.
but here's my thing. Word on the street is that the roster, the locker room right now in WWE is the morale is kind of down.
Oh yeah, because they're numbers now. They're not treated as, you know, again, that's what I was talking about the other week when I said the problem with all of this ultimately becomes you're just a number.
Yeah, it's no longer wrestling, and the whole
Well, it's no longer the older WWE where the locker room stayed tight. It's going to get back to what it was in the territory days. I need to get Cody Rhodes' spot to make Cody Rhodes money. So I'm going to do what I have to do to get there. And you're going to start getting politicking going on. You're going to get things going on and happening in the locker room That locker room is not going to be a fun place to be in because, again, if somebody takes Cody's spot, why should we pay Cody Rhodes the money we're paying him?
100%. And that's the scary part.
And that falls down further and further. So now everybody that was on that level, I need to stay there, but everybody else saying I need to get there, and you're going to get a lot of cutthroat and backstabbing and politicking and everything else going on.
Yeah, and then here's the other thing too. I think loyalty in the wrestling locker room is out the door too, man. It's completely gone. Right now to the point where, like, I've put in my work, I've busted my ass, and
there's no more loyalty
fire me.
to WWE, TKO. What the problem's going to be is this. And this is going to be the slippery slope. There was a lot of talk about how, and this is going, again, I cannot, there's been videos that have, documentaries and things that have come out that have kind of confirmed some of this, but, the stuff with like Triple H and Shawn Michaels, the Clique, could do no wrong in Vince's eyes. Well, now Triple H is Vince, in essence. Will he start running this the way that was being ran? You have your guys that are being pushed because they were Vince's guys.
But that's not his fault. That would be TKO making him act that way. Because at the end of the day,
yeah, but
you
then
saw
again,
TKO saying
the talent will now become, oh, I need to be a Nick Khan guy. I need to be a Triple H guy. I need to be one of these big guys because I need to keep my job.
But remember, TKO is the one running the storylines. It's not even anymore Triple H.
It's not all. That's not true.
That is what Nick Khan went on paper and said. He said that TKO is running the storylines. Triple H does not have that power anymore.
Where do you say that on?
Tell you right now. I gotta look for it, but he went on paper to say that he went on because I remember listening to it on a podcast and he played the soundbite of Nick Khan, and Nick Khan says TKO is running the show, doing all storylines. So when it comes to the storyline business, you don't even have to be on the good side of Triple H or of Nick Khan. You have to be on the good side of TKO. That way they could create storylines for you, and then you can make it. Because it just looks like Triple H is just a yes person right now. I don't even know how long Triple H is going to last, to be honest.
They just signed him to a 6-year executive deal. So
yeah, they signed the New Day. They signed the New Day, and what did they do with the New Day? They let him go.
No, but that was a talent contract. This is an executive deal.
What's the difference?
Triple H, which means
is there guaranteed?
They can get rid of him, but he's guaranteed his money. It's an executive contract. Yes, it's not a talent deal like a 1099 contract. I mean,
well, again, man, when it comes to TKO, I don't know what to expect from them. To be honest with you, the way they're working the wrestling business right now, I feel like they're shady as hell. So in my opinion, I feel like if knowing them how to structure certain guarantees and all that stuff, look at the NFL. The NFL does that all the damn time. Look, we'll give you this, and then if you perform or whatever, you get that or whatnot, and then they let them go. So it's like.
But they still get their guarantees, though.
Yeah, Triple H will get a
5-year deal for $600 million, $300 million guaranteed. You make the $300 million at least.
So when
in WWE, it's 6 years for $60 million, and we'll see if you make it to.
He gets it too. Exactly. That's where I'm getting at. Not so much about how much he's making and how much is going to be guaranteed. Is the fact is he going to last that long at all? You feel me?
But again, that's where. There's been talk. Will talent have to negotiate? The problem is, like, here's the other problem with the whole thing. TKO can be like, no, we're not doing that. Then what are you going to do? You go
not
to
doing
AEW,
what?
But only so many people can go to AEW. If you don't want to do the contract guarantee, we're not going to guarantee you $5 million a year. That way, if you get cut, you still get paid $5 million. There's not enough talent or enough places for talent to go to where there's any leverage there.
Yeah, they're gonna.
TKO has all the leverage.
Well, it depends. If your name lives up to expectation, you have other options out there, like the big heads, like the Codys and the Romans, maybe the CM Punks, where they could explore other avenues as far as like, hey, let me go to the movie industry and do some movies, especially with Street Fighter and all that stuff. They have those options. The other guys and other girls, not so much. So it comes to the point where, hey, you got to be number one. And like you said, it's going to be cutthroat because everybody wants to get that hot spot because that's the only thing that's guaranteed that you're going to be working. If not, you could get cut tomorrow and they don't care. And it's crazy. But now that we mentioned that, what do you think is going on with Roman Reigns? Because there's a lot of things going on right now. He was projected to be at certain shows. He said he wasn't going to be doing 50% showing. He was going to be there a lot more. His name comes up in some of these locations, and then all of a sudden they cross him out. Rumors are that he went ahead and he was having contract disputes where it looks like they wanted him to take a pay cut. What do you think is going on between Roman Reigns and TKO?
The story I heard, and again, I heard the other one as well. But I think the other issue, and again, I think this comes down to TKO being cheap and logistics as well, is that the next month of pay-per-views after this one is set up for Crown Jewel, if it's in Saudi or wherever else.
Mm-hmm.
He was not figured to be on that pay-per-view.
Okay.
So why would you bring him in
because you're
a private jet or whatever else and pay the fuel and everything else when he's not figured in on the thing? So what you do is he is scheduled still for the Backlash after the Tampa Backlash one coming up this week.
Yeah.
And everybody's talking about he's probably going to get beat down by whoever his next challenger is going to be and attacked and written off in a storyline angle that way. Now, again, there probably is some truth to him being upset. Those are his friends, man. And I'm sure some of his family has been, well, we know some of his family has been, I don't know where Tonga Tama is on the hierarchy there or where he falls. But, like, I think there's probably a personal aspect to it. And maybe Roman was doing that as a favor to TKO, and he said, you know what, screw you guys. I'm not going to be at those events anymore because of what you're doing. So it might have been Roman just saying, you know what, I was doing this to help you guys out, and you're doing this to all the people in this locker room. I'm not helping you out anymore. Figure it out.
Well, I will say this, man, and I don't know why, but this is the vibe I got. When they were doing that shoot on Monday between Roman and Jacob Fatu, for some strange reason, in my eyes, I didn't feel he was talking to Jacob. I felt like he was talking to TKO.
Well, he is.
When he was
saying thing like what Cody and CM Punk and them were doing beforehand too.
I felt that's why he was so passionate when he was going after Jacob, because I think he was pretty much talking to TKO, telling him, look, I am the star here. If you are treating my people and treating me like this, then what the hell am I doing here? Like, I have no business being here. And I can tell you right now, TKO lets go of Roman Reigns, which I don't think it will ever happen.
They'll never do it. Never.
But if that was to ever happen, Jesus, that's a slap in the face. And I promise you, if I wanted to start up a wrestling organization with you, I think I would try to do the best that we can and just put all our eggs in one basket and just hire Roman, because
we put all $12 in the bank account and get Roman signed,
because that is gonna blow up your show. It's gonna everybody wants to come and see him. He is the superstar. Him and Cody are the big names, but
they're the aura now of WWE. They are everybody, whether you want to boo them or you want to cheer them, they are the faces of what WWE is right now.
I know, and at the end of the day, you're right. They have Clash and Illity. That's supposedly the one that comes up at the end of May. But before that, they had a Saturday night main event happening
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Indiana.
Okay, so
So
it's Italy. Not. I thought it was a crown jewel. I'm sorry.
yeah, so I'm pretty sure they could still stick them somewhere in there. I don't think in either the Saturday night main event, or they could have put them in the Clash in Italy. Again, I honestly feel TKO went up to him and told him to take a pay cut. I think that was what they.
This is this. You know what'll be interesting, and this could be answered Saturday.
Yes.
You know, I mean, because let's be serious here. If this is really an issue, or Triple H and WWE think it's an issue, Jacob Fatu will leave the champion.
Especially since
I mean, and again, I don't know how Jacob Fatu feels about this, because again, there's you know, it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. Again, I always said they should have turned this into an angle, and now with everything else going on, could you imagine how much heat the TKO part of this would be taken right now? But again, you also, again, because you want to blur the lines of reality and wrestling, but man, like, it's going to be very interesting Saturday to see. You know, we'll have our answer, I think, on Saturday.
all day, because if you let Jacob Fatu win, then I feel that it's a slap in the face to Roman, especially since Jacob Fatu, this storyline just started after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I don't think I've ever seen something so drastically come.
Well, not only that, but you would have clipped two of your talents momentum in CM Punk with Roman winning to just give the belt to Jacob at a Backlash pay-per-view. And not saying that, again, I don't want it to sound like Jacob doesn't deserve a title or anything, but
It's too soon.
you just took the momentum off of CM Punk and put it on Roman Reigns, and Roman's way up here to go to Backlash and take it off does not make sense business or professionally.
Yep.
So there has to be something else behind it being driven, which would be what everybody is saying about the Roman Reigns and TK. But again, for that to be an issue, though, like, what are you? If I was Triple H at that point, I'd be like, guys, I have to have some help here. If you're clipping Roman Reigns, what we just talked about and what you said, like if you're doing that to Roman, why should I fight and do everything I can as a talent to get to that position?
You lose the locker room.
All you're going to do is clip me.
Yeah, you're gonna lose the whole talent.
You have to have that arc of Cody's here, Roman's here. Everybody needs to get there to make that talent hungry. Because I'll tell you now, look, I know there's some new people in NXT, and I know there's, talent going up. But there's no Obas coming up from NXT right now. There's no Tricks. There's no, when you look at the talent there on the women's side, there might be some there.
They're struggling a little bit on the women's side too, bro. Because I don't know if Lola is the right answer.
Yeah, the men's side, it's not there, man. It's not.
Well, they only have one right now, in my opinion, which would be the Don.
But again,
the only one that has a little bit more.
He's technically the only one that hasn't been called up.
Correct.
Which, again, I think that was due to him being injured.
Correct.
And he didn't get a pay raise like Oba and Trick and all the ones, because when they started getting signed, Ricky Saints and all the ones getting big money, they moved them up. I don't think Don was making that, that money there. But once he does, he'll be up too.
I think he's the only one right now that I could see on the NXT side that has some type of aura. Everybody else in the guy's side is rough. And when you look at the women's side, the women took a beating, bro. I'm not gonna lie, because you took out Sol Ruka, you took out Blake Monroe.
They took the whole Fatal Influence. If you would have left two of them there, at least you can make one of them the leader to where you have something. You just said, you basically, like I said, that's what I liked about NXT was you could see it as a brand. Now it's a true developmental. As soon as you're making, a little bit of step, you're getting called up. And that's just going to kill any momentum NXT has.
And not only that, but I felt like this time around, they manslaughtered the crap out of NXT because at least in the draft, you would get maybe 2 or 3 people go up and 2 or 3 people go up to the other main roster for SmackDown. So 2 or 3 for Raw, 2 or 3 for SmackDown. This time they just took everybody, bro.
No.
They just said here. And then I mean, again, it's scary because, like you said, if they do this to Roman Reigns, if he loses the title, and keep in mind, this is the first time Roman Reigns has that title. If they do that to him, then you're absolutely right. And this is just like a football team. You lose the locker room because the locker room no
Well, I
longer.
think they've lost the majority of the locker room right now. But I think what they're going to do is they're going to cause infighting in the locker room because, as I said, to get paid and to have security, you need to be Roman. You need to be Cody. You need to be Seth. You need to be Becky. You need to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have to be those names to feel secured. And I don't even know if they're secured. I'm just saying, to feel secured, I think you're going to have something like that.
Yeah, because even in a regular company that you work for, right? When you work for a corporate company, what is your goal, right? You want to keep increasing, right? You want to go from your regular employee to a supervisor to a manager to like a regional manager, etc. To eventually try to become a CEO or anything like that, right? Like that's your goal. So that should be the mindset when it comes to the wrestling talent. Same way, they should sell it like that. But if they find a way, if there really is heat between Roman Reigns and TKO, and they do that to Roman, man, that would cause a lot of problems in TKO and to a lot of the wrestlers back there. You know, I would be afraid of what to expect. I would be, and this is where I had written on the thing. I was like, frustration, fear, morale, all that would just ring in my head because
Yeah, but it's not only that, Frankie. It's as you said, though, is like you're going to start getting, to me, the cutthroating because
yeah,
it's going to get, like you said, like the locker room in wrestling has always been tiered. You kind of knew your role. You're always trying to get to the top. That was never not a thing. But you kind of knew the role of, okay, you had your Rocks, your Stone Colds, your Undertakers. I'm right under there, and my job is to boost this and to do that because you had a role. Now I feel like they're going to get this to a point to where people are actually going to start feeling like, how do I say this, and not, you know, like the entertainment part of the wrestling is going to go take a hit because if I'm trying to get to the Cody spot, I'm trying to get the Roman spot creatively, I'm not going to let you do some of the stuff you do to me on TV.
Here's
why am I going to allow you to degrade me when I'm trying to up my value?
Yeah, but then
and you have to have that portion of the show as well. But now with the way they're doing it, why am I going to subject myself to be the one that everybody's using to elevate themselves, yet I'm staying down here, and in TKO's eyes, I'm irrelevant?
Okay, here's my thing though. If I'm looking at it as like the UFC, because this is how they want to go, I feel like that's the route they want to go. You had a star power in Francis Ngannou, who was like blowing up, and they let that guy walk.
Yeah.
You feel me? So at the end of the day, I think TKO is going to have the same type of mentality with the WWE where, hey, this company is bigger than any wrestler. You're expandable. And at the end of the day, Roman, you got to work with us. If you don't work with us, you're out of here. And I feel that when it comes to the lower tier wrestlers that are trying to make it to become the Roman Reigns, they're going to sell them a dream. They're going to be like, look, the reason Roman didn't work out was because Roman didn't want to go ahead and cooperate with us. You want to get to this spot, you could get to it, but you have to be able to understand the business and sell it to that. Like again, I think that's how they're gonna do it. That's why you're gonna have wrestlers. You're gonna have some wrestlers that are gonna like fight back and be like, nah, I don't believe them. They're full of shit. And then there's gonna be other ones that are gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Vince did that to The Rock. You know that, right?
Yeah.
The Rock came up, demanded more money. I want to make Stone Cold money. He told The Rock, okay, learn the business side of it and come back and let me know. Or he said he wanted to make more than what Stone Cold was making. Vince told him, learn the business side of everything, then come back and tell me what you want to make. And he came back and he said, I want to make the same as Stone Cold. You know what I'm saying? But again, Stone Cold was making good money too. I mean, I'm not saying, you know, not to cut anything there, but like, you can't sell me the dream when the person you're trying to sell me to be is the guy you're clipping.
Only if you give that person a valid reason why you clipped them.
But what would be the valid reason? Because he didn't
Maybe
want to.
I don't know.
He didn't want to get out of the contract that you didn't want to honor. Because look, Roman Reigns has been re-signed since TKO took over. This wasn't a Vince McMahon deal.
Yeah,
this was a TKO deal. That's why I call the BS on the whole thing about, oh, they're just trying to redo all the contracts that were signed. No, every contract that was, you know, trying to be restructured are all the ones they did. JC Mateo was only on his first year of a multi-year deal. Gone. Tama Tonga, I think he was on the last year of his deal. They just probably didn't renew him. Gone. Kairi Sane came out and said, yes, I wanted to go home, but that's not the reason I was let go.
Yeah.
So now I'm wondering if that was part of the reason to where they asked her to take a pay cut. And she said, no, I'm not taking a pay cut. Because again, as somebody who's in a storyline, my thinking, and probably most of the wrestling is like, well, you need me.
Yeah.
I'm in a storyline now. No, I'm not taking a pay cut. And I'm being used.
Yeah.
And
which is what I was telling you.
Guess what? You're no longer but now when they said the restructuring thing, it makes not more sense, but from the business side, now I understand.
Shady.
As far as them saying, okay, you don't want to take the restructure, then you're just out. See you later.
And you know what?
The crummy thing is they gave these people 48 hours, the men and women, 48 hours. Let us know what you want to do.
Okay, and you want to know what's crazy, Sean? If you were to see that the company was taking a hit, like nobody was making money, they're losing money, and that's why they have to restructure to gather themselves together to survive. If not, the company is going to go down the shitter. That's not the case. They made more money, which is crazy. They're charging more for the fans to attend. They're making buku money with Netflix, with ESPN. They're making way more money for the shareholders. So if you're making all this money, why in the world are you cutting all these people short? Like, that is the grimy part. I could understand if the company was shitting and was doing really bad. But the fact that they're doing really good and then they want to cut even more, cut the expenses, that way they can make more money. And again, your expenses is what's making you money. Your talent. It's messed up. It's not cool. I think it was wrongful doing, and I'm telling you, TKO, this might bite him. Karma's a bitch. Karma's a bitch. So
yeah, but Frankie, see, this is the thing though too, is like, I'm telling you, I said this when they first signed with TKO and all the UFC and all of the bull riding and the UFC gyms. Apparently they've got training facilities, institutes, all this other stuff that they're paying for. WWE allows them to finally break into the green. All the money that WWE is making is just helping the TKO brand move into a green. I mean, that's my feeling in all this. I mean, you've got all the management group, Zuffa Boxing now. I'm looking at the different things that they have here, and like, I can't think you're making a lot of money off the PBR.
I remember the WWE club, that WWE club that they're doing now, where they're making people subscribe to it, and and they'll make more money off of that as well.
Yeah,
so it's
they're making tons of money off WWE because WWE has all the eyes on it. They get all the thing, but they're using that money. It's like they're funneling it. It's I would say like a Ponzi scheme. They're using the WWE money to fund the PBR, to fund this, to fund that, and now WWE's not making as much money because they're funneling it everywhere else to cover, because that's the moneymaker for TKO is WWE.
Do you feel that the fans would rebel because of the way TKO's running business? Do you feel that at one point in time the fans would be like, enough is enough, or do the fans not care?
Here's the thing: is look, me as a wrestling fan, TKO can fall off a building for me. But I'm also not the price point that they're going after. I can't afford a $25,000 seat. I can't afford to be in a $500 seat, much less anywhere else, and take a family. You know what I'm saying? Like, so from my standpoint, I tell them to go jump off a bridge. But when you're still selling out, you know, little arenas and stuff, then how can you? I would love to sit here and say yes, but I don't know.
I mean,
I
for
don't
me,
know. I don't know what that breaking point is, and that breaking point might be if the Roman Reigns story is true. That could be a teeter-tot type thing to where fans are like, well, yeah, we're done. But I don't know what the breaking point would be for fans, because the prices were astronomical at WrestleMania this year and still had 42,000. I mean, you know, I know they announced 50,000, 60,000, but there was the last number I saw legit was 42 and 44 for night 2. And they had paid for all of the front row, the first 3 rows, which were between 12 and 25,000 a seat. I mean, I would love to tell you yes, Frankie, but I don't know, man. I really don't.
yeah, it's scary to the point where we really don't know if the fans are eventually gonna just not care because
Or they move on to a different fan base, just like what UFC did. Think about it, man. UFC went to being if you were a celebrity or a high money person, an influencer,
oh yeah,
you
man.
needed to be in there on the bottom. You need to be in the row in the bowl at a UFC event and get on the camera. They sell you, as you were talking about selling. They sell these celebrities and everything. They pay that money for that ticket, and both. There
Well,
you
yeah,
go.
yeah, and again, it sucks because I remember when I've been a loyal UFC fan for a long time, and I remember my first UFC event I went to was in Orlando. It was to watch Fabricio Verdum go against Ronda Rousey's husband. I forgot his name now.
Yeah, we call
But
him Mr. Rousey.
that was the main
It was
event.
Brown, right? Brown.
Something Brown. Yeah, I forgot his name.
Travis
Travis Brown.
Brown.
There you go. I went to go see it. I went with my friend. I went with my brother, and I remember we sat on the top, but we got in for like $100, probably less than that, probably like $80 or something like that. The last time I went to a UFC event was to see Jorge Masvidal fight his last match here in Miami, and just to get in, the tickets were $380 just to sit in the same spot that I was before him. So you're right. They might just focus their audience to an audience that could actually afford to go to all this stuff and is willing to pay all this money. And we, the middle class, the poor class, would just sit back and just enjoy it from long distance, from the TV, from the stuff that we can pay, right? The Netflixes and the ESPN, and just go from there in the meantime. But I have a question now. I want to shift over.
And no doubt, real quick, Karoon and no doubt was in there. It said WWE became so expensive they hoard themselves to Saudi Arabia because they're the only ones that can afford it. WWE is a great example of the U.S. screwing over the American middle class. That was Karoon. And then no doubt said, have you considered the effect that the Iran situation may have in this? Past earnings don't guarantee future stock prices. If they cannot go to Saudi Arabia because of security issues, the company has to figure out how to offset those lost revenues. Yeah, no. And again, it comes down to them being a publicly owned company. They have to answer to stockholders, to the shareholders. And again, if they are preparing for that because they know we're not going to have WrestleMania over there, so that's $100 or $200 million they're not getting now. They're not going to have another couple other pay-per-views over there. I think they had almost $400 million in the bag from Saudi Arabia in like the next year leading up to WrestleMania being over there. And now if you have none of that money, that's $400 million in earnings you've lost.
Well, here,
So-
keep in mind as well, guys. This is a gamble because at the end of the day, if you guys are golf fanatics, you had the PGA, right? And then you had the Saudi league, the Saudi golf, and now that's crashing. It had a good run for a couple of years, and now it's crashing. So who knows if the Saudis are going to be able to keep this run with WWE for the next couple of years, and then eventually it crashes, because that's common. I kid you not. In soccer, the Chinese league did this years ago, where they invested a ton of money, and they were investing a lot of money into the Chinese league to get all of these big soccer players over to China. That way they could grow the Chinese league and make it very big. That money eventually ran out because they weren't getting the same amount of fans like they thought they would. They got it at the beginning, but then they lost it. And then what ended up happening, they had to eventually sell out all their wrestlers, their soccer players, and be like, hey, we can't afford you, bro. You need to go back to whatever other league or whatever other team you used to play for. So it's a gamble that WWE is doing. Now, one thing I will say as well is when you mentioned about the audience, look at Formula,
but
look at
also,
Formula One.
I
Formula
will
One
say-
caters to the rich audience.
Yeah, but I
And
would
that's
say
massive.
this: they've already been a deal with them for the last 5 years and made over, I think like $5 billion with the Saudis. So
It's not enough. Not enough. They're asking
Oh.
for more. Now,
Yeah.
I wanna change the topic because one of the topics that we had, and it's all the way in the bottom, and if you're cool with it, there was remember I mentioned to you that they wanted to change the market, and you mentioned to us that, hey, wrestlers are gonna have options outside of the WWE, TNA, AEW, maybe AAA or CMLL or New Japan Wrestling or any of these. Well, all the way in the bottom of our topics for today, we have Warner Brothers informed Tony Khan and AEW in the summer of 2025 that the plan was for Warner Brothers to be sold, and that option and that the option year in AEW's current television deal was no longer a consideration. This was according to some sources. Now, here's my question to you. Obviously, Tony Khan has money, and we know that. And Tony Khan wants to bring, you mentioned, hey, New Day, they might come over. He could pay him a hefty penny, and they'll come. Maybe not the same as WWE, but good enough for those guys to come over. Maybe they bring in Zelina Vega, one of the talents that got released before.
no.
Maybe, well, I know. They don't like Aleister Black. There was some tension between them and all that stuff. But
Well,
JT,
they've actually supposedly been talking to Aleister Black. Zelina Vega, by the way, for those that don't know, the story is she was in talks once she got released from WWE before. Once WWE started talking to her again, she ghosted Tony Khan in the middle of negotiations. Just ghosted him and then showed up on WWE TV. That's the story. I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not.
so then there's
That's
a
just one of the
possibility.
stories that are coming out there. So there is some, at least believed. If you believe it, there's some history between Zelina and AEW, and we already know there's history between Aleister and AEW.
And of course, JC Mattel, or obviously used to work in AEW.
Yep.
It didn't work out the first time, but I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they consider him because
Yeah.
they brought a lot of people from New Japan Wrestling, and he worked with a lot of those guys while they were over there.
Yeah,
So
he
it would-
burned a bridge with New Japan. I don't know how bad that bridge is burned because he was in the middle of a run there and signed with WWE and left them. So again,
he might. Do you think New Japan will go ahead and be like, "We're not going to take you back"? I'm pretty sure they'll take him back. They just won't offer him the same amount of money they offered him while he was signing
yeah,
over
but
there.
then again,
That's
then,
probably what
then
it is.
does he go there? Is my thing.
depends
You
if
can,
he-
you can still sign with AEW, just don't sign the NJP in New Japan part, and you stay with AEW. I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll have to see where those go. But there's a lot of interesting situations now, and also on some of that NXT talent that was released. Does AEW get them lower priced and see what they got? and maybe they get something that WWE
Well,
whiffed on, and they become an AEW name, even though a lot of people won't know them as a WWE name.
all right. Well. Here's where we're going with the AEW
Yes, yep,
topic
go
here.
ahead. Go ahead.
The fact of the matter is that AEW obviously looks like they're not going to have a home on Warner Brothers. So there's been talks, and they've been saying that there's a possibility that AEW might go to YouTube, and they might just stick around with YouTube until they finally get a contract. My question to you is, Sean, WWE is burning bridges with all these companies. You had Peacock. Now they don't have NXT anymore. They don't have WWE. They don't have anything of wrestling, if I'm not mistaken, because now everything's in the CW, including the
No, they
premium
get
live
Saturday
event.
night main events.
That's the only thing that they still get the Saturday night main events.
Yep. Because
Okay,
only Peacock gets it. It used to be on NBC, which was Peacock. Now they moved it to just Peacock. So you have to have Peacock to get the
all
Saturday
right.
night main event.
But well, they lost the NXT premium live events because that went to the CW as well. So I don't know where they're going with that. Obviously, the talks between ESPN and WWE. I don't know how much this is rumors or truth into it that they're disagreeing with. Hey, this amount of money, we're expecting this amount of money, we're not getting that many subscribers, et cetera, et cetera. So now you have that issue going on.
Well,
Then
I mean,
you
they did just do a thing with CW to make sure NXT went to ESPN app as well live. So
yes, the NXT is also going to NXT is
ESPN
also going to
Unlimited.
ESPN. Yes, ESPN app too. So my question though is, you burn your bridges a little bit with like maybe Peacock because obviously they kept Saturday night, but at least it's there. Fox eventually got rid of, you know, wrestling. Um, Warner Brothers is not gonna re-sign AEW. What options does AEW have in the market right now? And if they can't sign or get any luck signing with one of these companies, because that makes most of their money, are they going to be able to sign or afford to sign some of these talents that the TKO is releasing? And that would probably give AEW an opportunity to kind of stand out once again.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting part in this story was the fact that there's a merger that's happening. Warner Brothers is being bought by Paramount. So that's why the language was written. Warner Brothers cannot give them the extra year because they're not going to be there to be the ones in charge of giving them that year. It would have to be Paramount, who will now be in charge of taking over Warner Brothers, whatever programming, however you want to look at it.
And it's a
Now, the
rival.
interesting
It's
thing
a
with
rival company,
Paramount
right?
is they have UFC on Paramount already. Do they go and say, okay, we've got UFC with TKO, but we'll go ahead and keep AEW for the wrestling?
Yeah.
A lot of people think that's not going to be a plausible thing from TKO to them and everything else. That's why everybody's saying AEW is kind of on the outside looking in. Nothing really set in stone as far as, they've lost their TV. But my understanding is their backup plan is right now going to be YouTube. When that does, or if that does happen and nothing else transpires, then I have to believe at that point, Tony and his father probably going to have a conversation and be like, well, we need to figure something out because the TV money was to pay for a bulk of these big contracts. And if we don't have that TV money, I'm not running everything through my companies and again, I think Tony owns a couple companies on his own as well. I'm not sitting here, but again, do you put that money, invest the money from those companies into a product that right now, other than your all-in PLEs, doesn't really get you a lot of money? Probably loses you money? Or are you going to invest in that product? That is the interesting side note on where this will go if they don't get a TV deal. And again, I don't know what will happen between now and then, but like the answer is I don't know what AEW would do if they don't have a TV deal. There's no way they're making these deals. I mean,
They're not gonna last.
The interesting part to me would be this. Because, Tony Khan always talked bad about WWE just letting people go and doing this. And he has ghosted wrestlers.
Yes.
Tony Khan himself has ghosted wrestlers, but their contracts were up. They just, instead of trying to negotiate or letting them know we're not renegotiating, they just let the contracts run out and never called them or talked to them again.
Yeah.
How does he honor any of these contracts that are owed? Because the interesting part that happened when WCW went out of business was
they lost.
They had two-fold contracts, which people didn't know about. Well, I mean, people but so the big name talent that made bunches of money were signed to Turner Broadcasting, not WCW. The WCW contracts were your Booker T's, were your Sean Stasiak's, were everybody that showed up for the invasion angle were the contracts WWE inherited from purchasing WCW, because the big names were paid from Turner. Their contracts were actually paid by Turner Broadcasting, and that's why some of them sat home getting paid until those contracts expired. And they're saying, hey, Vince, you want us to come back for a deal? No, it's okay, buddy. I'm going to get paid full, and then I'll show back up on TV when I need the money. And I don't know how these contracts are set up. I don't know if some of them are under companies already, and that's how they're able to do this. So that's going to be the other interesting part to see, again, the bigger money contract. Your Chris Jericho. Is he actually signed under the Jacksonville Jaguars, per se, payroll? You know what I'm saying? Because then, that doesn't affect. Again, it's the mystery money that a lot of people try to use on stuff.
And since you mentioned him, rest in peace, Ted Turner. He passed away today, coincidentally.
Right.
So RIP to him. But here's my question to you, Sean, because this is where it concerns me. Because Vince McMahon wanted to monopolize, wrestling, right? And he bought WCW and he burned it, right? He pretty much burned it.
He wanted to take Trillionaire Ted out of business. That was his main goal, because there was a thing when Ted Turner got into wrestling, they ran the whole thing about, we're going to put Vince McMahon out of business.
Yeah.
And they came an eyelash from doing it.
It did.
So Vince took a lot of pleasure on purchasing WCW for $2 million.
So then here's my question. If Tony Khan cannot secure any TV rights with any of these companies, who's not to say that Tony Khan and his daddy are eventually going to be like, look, Tony, this is not profitable. This is a lot of money. You pull AEW up for sale, and who comes knocking at the door? Not Vince McMahon, but now it's TKO. And we repeat the same cycle that happened years ago, where all of a sudden TKO buys out AEW, which at the end hurts the wrestlers, because now you have less options to, if you don't make it in WWE, then you could kind of at least try it out in AEW and TNA, New Japan, and all these places. But AEW is another company that is at least here in the States.
And the interesting part is, by the way, this comes on the heel of TNA getting a TV deal.
Yes. But that.
And why did TNA get a TV deal?
Because of WWE?
They're in bed with TKO, buddy.
Yeah, man. I mean, again, it's
just like
scary.
AAA. You talk about Fox not liking WWE and everything else, right? What did they get when they went to Mexico for AAA? Fox. That's where their TV is on AAA now. It was on Fox.
Yeah, so are you telling me that TKO is trying to monopolize and do events all over again?
If you start looking at everything, they've got bits and pieces somewhere, right?
Looks like it.
Every steaming you know what? Prime Video, AEW, Prime Video. Might want to hit that first.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I don't think Prime Video has any. They did have AEW pay-per-views for a little bit.
They did have AEW pay-per-views for a little bit, but I don't know, man. Again, does Prime want to jump into the wrestling
I
world?
don't know, man.
That's
I
another
don't
thing
know.
too. So their options are dwindling, man, and it's because of the simple fact that it's
And the
not.
question would be this: I think they got what 180 million was the TV deal from Warner Brothers.
I would have to look it up. I'm
I
not too
believe
sure.
that's what AEW's TV rights was.
Got how much from Warner Brothers? It looks like AEW made 170 to 185 million per year.
Okay, yeah. Now,
So,
now, what leverage do they have to make that again, though? You know what I'm
no,
saying? Like,
absolutely not. They're not gonna.
yeah, yeah,
Nobody's gonna give them that.
that's gonna be the thing. Now, did they take that money and reinvest it back in the company, which might help them, or did they just keep blowing it on contract? I don't know.
Yeah, man,
I
it's
don't know.
scary. It's scary when it comes to the AEW world because again, I put it down as one of the topics is AEW previous network issues affecting AEW, but it's not. Now I'm looking at it like it's not issues. It's basically TKO taking over everything, and pretty much to the point where they're
Or their
gonna
partner, or their partners,
or
one
the,
of the two.
so they have a foot in each door,
Yeah.
and if
And
let's say
now, you know what? Funny, it makes sense now. Carlos Silva, because they had the TV deal coming for Thursday nights, and you were sitting there trying to be our competition. Okay, then I'm not giving you my guys to wrestle your guys anymore. Why am I going to have my guys wrestle your guys? You don't have a TV deal. We do.
Sean, again, we spoke about this last week when I told you this. When I said to you that all this stuff is cohesive with TKO, and
Yeah.
man, we honestly thought that Vince was like gonna ruin wrestling, but man,
He
did we
did.
ever never.
No,
But
no.
but
Vince was smart. He said, I said one of two things. I said Vince would never sell. He would kill the business himself. But what he did was he said, wait. Why am I going to do that? I can make billions of dollars and sell it to them and they'll kill it. And I'll just be sitting at home because it's not my fault anymore. So technically, he played a hand in this, yes. Because he hand chose TKO, by the way. Remember.
well,
He's the
he
one that
put
came
it
back.
on sale.
He came back and he wanted to be in charge till they sold so he could choose the one. But again, his leverage was he wanted to be on the board.
Yes.
And he was at the beginning until all the other stuff started coming out. Then he got washed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Yeah,
I do wonder if Vince was still on the board, what's happening here? Like I wonder where is he stepping in and saying, you're not doing this to my company that I built.
Okay, let me ask you this: do you think he would have said something? I think he would have spoken out. I think he would have.
I would think so in a way, but also, look, man, at the point he's at now, what does he have left to do?
Yeah, man.
Just
But
count his money, try not to drive over the speed limit anymore, and like,
get pulled over.
I mean, but to be honest, what else does he have to prove? Like,
He doesn't have anything to prove, but his ego
yes,
will always, go.
but I think his
to the
ego got
extreme.
shut down when the business left him and started doing better.
Well, it was doing better. I don't know if it's gonna be doing better more and more in the
Well,
future.
no,
the way
but
it's
again,
going, but
it was thriving without a Vincent Kennedy McMahon. in
that is
charge.
true, 100%. You're right about that.
So that would humble some. I would think would humble some. Maybe not Vince, but I would think it would humble some.
All right, let's go to the next topic. And
No doubt said Prime bought the rights to Cup Series practice and qualifying. Yeah, they did.
they did.
Surely they would get into AEW. They're searching for live content. Yeah, but I don't know if there was a thing going on.
I mean,
between
NBA
them
playoffs.
about the way the pay-per-views were being handled. I can't remember what happened, but people were having issues with Prime when they were doing it for a couple weeks. Again, it was new at the time, but I would think Prime would be your bet, and you can't really be, striving for too much.
You gotta hope because I mean,
Sorry.
who else is out there?
Oh, I don't know.
Tubi,
Yeah,
Tubi,
Roku?
but they're not gonna offer you 185 million.
No, you're not getting, I don't think, that much. They have no
Nowhere near.
leverage. to me.
Half of that probably.
Yeah,
if
they have
that.
no leverage at all. So that would be interesting to see, again, where unless they bid on themselves and they run the YouTube thing, but then
Or they could do what WWE did at one point in time. They could do their own like WWE network and do an AEW network and see if that works. I mean, they do have Ring of Honor.
yeah, but now you're taking on another charge and making no money on it.
That is true.
At least they had the NBC money coming in from USA for SmackDown. You had Raw. You had money coming in. You'll have nothing coming in, and you have to be dishing out because you still have to do the live shows,
That's true.
which means you got to pay production companies and everything else. So
You're right
I
about
don't
that.
know. We'll see, man. Hopefully hopefully it's just a what if story, and maybe Paramount will be able to keep them around.
Absolutely. All right, well, guys, if you're definitely tuning in, don't forget to hit the subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms. We're on X, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, so we're even on Twitch. So if you guys want to see us, keep watching us on all these platforms. All right, moving on to the next topic that we have here.
No doubt. I watch NASCAR practice. All right,
Oh my,
when
I
they
don't
give
know.
it to us, there's not even that many practices. Honestly,
I mean,
practice.
Prime. You want to watch the NBA playoffs? You gotta have NBA Prime. I mean, Prime. Amazon
Might as well
Prime.
call it NBA Prime now. It's NBA Prime.
All right, now let's tackle this question. Obviously, we had a couple of people call up. We had two in particular that we saw, this one on Monday and one on Friday, and that was Friday was Ricky Saints and Monday was Sol Ruka. Sean, talk to me, man. What you think about those two call ups? Were they successful or were they an epic fail?
Um, I'm gonna. I don't think they were a success or a failure. Sol Ruka could have tried to hit the Soul Snatcher a little bit better.
So they
But
edited that, okay? Relax.
well, yeah, I know. But I mean, but again, again, that was the way they brought them up and packaged them. I thought was great. I mean, as far as you make them feel important, right? Ricky Saints is coming out and saying, "I'm the revolution. I'm here to become, the champion and this and that." And you had, Soul kind of going one on one with Becky. She held her own for. I thought that promo was. She's gotten better for her promos and stuff.
Jazz.
We'll see where they go because we'll see. I want to see more than just them facing Cody or doing the thing with Becky. Let's see where they go when they don't have the training wheels per se on them right now. So right now I'm going to hold it off. It's an okay start to both of them being on the main roster. There was some good stuff. There was some not so good stuff. But I'll see where they go from here.
I like how you try to be politically correct here. I'm gonna be very blunt and very upfront. I thought Soruka's coming out was great. I thought it was good. I thought it was very successful. No complaints. I think they made a right decision putting her with Becky. I think it's a good way to build her up. And like you said, her mic skills has improved. I feel like she is ready. It was about time we have her. The only concern I have about her is of course her soul snatcher. I don't know if she's gonna be able to hit those all the damn time. And plus, that's taking a big toll on your body. So she's still young, but she's still very green. I think she's only been wrestling for 4 years. So it's like very good the way they promoted her. Very good that they brought her. And again, we've seen Soruka before. We saw her at Saturday Night Main Event. So that's why I thought you got a really good pop for her. It was very successful, and I liked it. Now let's go back and rewind to Friday night. That for me was an epic disaster. And there was absolutely no reason why Ricky Saints should have been brought up to the main roster. That was bad. They tried to do the exact same thing that they did with Carmelo Hayes when they brought him up. They put him against Cody. Cody beats him. Try to get a pop. You saw how Carmelo has had to kind of rebound back. And actually, that was the other name that they said that could have gotten the 50% pay cut. That wasn't as good. Ricky Saints was terrible, dude. Absolutely no pop. Ricky Saints.
Well, he got a better pop
struggled.
the second for the match than he did when he interrupted Cody.
It was bad, dude.
It was bad still, but it was at least it was something. It was something like, oh, hey, it's that guy.
It was bad, and I feel bad for Ricky Sainz because I mean, I don't want to say it, but I don't think Ricky Sainz is gonna work out in the main roster. I think they rushed him.
It depends on how they package him, man, and that's why I said I'm gonna wait right now because, again, I look back to when Danhausen came out and I said this is gonna be a failure because of the way they brought him out, and then the next thing you know, he's become, the go-to guy. And again, I know Ricky Sainz ain't that because it's not an act like there. He's actually got to get in the ring and do some stuff. But I'm gonna wait because, again, as you said, I think they kind of hurt Ricky in a way because he's only been on NXT. Ethan's been on AAA. Ethan has done, certain things. Ricky Sainz has just been to NXT, so you brought him out, and again, he got rushed because of the money they're probably paying him already. We already feel that that's the problem with TKO as it is.
But if you watch NXT, Ricky Sainz wasn't even getting that great of a pop with the NXT crowd. That's why I'm shocked that they brought him up so quickly.
Well,
with Ethan Page, people
write
hate
him
him
off. This is what they're gonna do, dude. Within you're gonna get the Julia that you want to happen. That's what'll happen with Ricky Sainz.
That's terrible, man. That's terrible for Julia. That's terrible. Is gonna happen to Ricky Sainz.
That's what they're gonna do now. You're gonna sink or swim, bro. That is the new WWE under TKO. If I'm paying you that much money, you're gonna be up there getting me eyes on TV. If you're not, then we're gonna let you go. That's how cut and dry this is gonna become, I believe.
Chad says, my kid pulled a 9 out of 25 Becky Lynch orange geometric card. I was more hyped for the man than he was. Becky Lynch is still holding.
The Topps trading cards, I'm guessing.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's going to be at Backlash with Dan? We'll talk about it. We're gonna do our picks, and we're obviously gonna talk about that as well. The reason I can't compare Danhausen with Ricky Sainz is because Danhausen, even though the way they made him come out, his gimmick is worked in AEW, and his gimmick is working in WWE. And I always feel like when you have, when he could cater to the kids, people are gonna like him.
Yeah,
it's gonna be.
It's an entertainment aspect. You can latch on to anything that's entertainment, whereas with Ricky Sainz,
that's wrestling.
You've got to impress us with your talent and everything else. And the other problem that he's got going for him is he plays the smug character, to where nobody's really like, I can care less. Great, you're gonna get your ass whooped. And I get it. He came out and he says, I know they boo what they don't understand and things like that, but they didn't respond at all. That was the problem.
But the reason they don't respond at all is because a lot of people don't watch NXT.
No, they don't, but people think they do, but there's no reason to watch NXT anymore.
No, and his character, you just said he's a smug, but he's a small dude. He's not. Yes. He is not a guy that you could look at and be like, oh, he's, he has a reason to act that way. He's a small little guy who, like, anybody could kick his ass. So it's like, does that character work for him in the WWE? It didn't. From the time that I remember him in AEW, there was one point in time he was very, very successful, but it was only when he was teamed up with Big Bill. That's the only time I saw that Ricky Sainz had a successful run. And then he left Big Bill for a bit, and then I think he did his own thing for a little bit, and then after that he calmed down. I don't know if he's gonna have. I really don't feel like Ricky. I feel Ricky Sainz is another Julia, and my prediction. I mean, and I hope I'm wrong.
She suffered the cuts. She must have took a pay cut.
I won't. Dude. I mean, she had to suffer. She had to survive the cuts because she just lost the belt. I don't think you're gonna do that to somebody who just lost their belt. Like that's a double.
What are you talking about, dude?
A double middle finger to you. F you twice. Like you lose the belt and I'm gonna fire your ass. That's messed up.
They can care less, man.
That's rough, man. Like that would be a slap in the face. But I really do feel Julia's gone by the end of next year. I'm being honest with you, and I hope she goes to AEW because I really she's very talented. She was, and again, I've always said this. Julia did great in NXT. I just feel like they haven't been able to do like a good storyline for her over there, and they haven't been able to sell her. They've actually been able to sell her partner more than. Well,
the problem is she came up and Stephanie won over the crowd, So then she got what Julia was supposed to get.
But watch
You
out.
couldn't push them both.
But
So,
but watch out. Haven't you noticed that Stephanie's kind of calmed down? Like
well, she's
she
hurt. She's been injured.
obviously
So,
she's hurt, but still she's kind of slowed down. This is gonna be a good way for us to know where this goes with Stephanie. Is she still
well,
gonna
the thing
keep
with
momentum?
Stephanie is when they made her the face of the women's division, she had to start talking more.
Yeah,
And you saw where the
Hurt her.
issues that they had problems there, trying to make it work. I mean, they did what they could, but it really limited the backstage promo where I think Liv could have excelled more, but Stephanie couldn't keep up with it. So,
and it's hard, right? It's hard. Hopefully I mean she's doing her due diligence and learning English a lot better. I mean, but you don't have to. I mean, look at Io Sky. Io Sky has had her runs, and she doesn't know English that well.
no, but she
So
knows enough to get the stuff moving or keep it moving, and like her and Asuka, both of them, they do the little things where it's like they say enough and they don't need, again, Stephanie doesn't have to sit out here and cut a 5-minute promo at all.
no,
But the problem is the accent is so thick that even when she goes to say something,
yeah,
I don't think it comes across with
yeah.
what it needs to because it's so thick of the accent. Is my
Yeah,
only
it doesn't
thing.
hit. It doesn't hit like if you understood
Yes.
it really well.
Yeah.
And it's not her fault. It's just her
No,
accent.
not her fault at all. It's just the circumstance. But that's what happens when you put the title on somebody, though. They become that focal point, whether they want to or not. And that's why I honestly thought they would both stay in NXT a little bit longer
Yes.
to
Yes.
get more of the language barrier thing
Yes.
and
Yes.
then bring them up. But again, I think we're going to see Evil up soon, too. I get it. But if they paid him a lot of money, there's no way you're telling me TKO is going to be like, okay, keep him down there. No.
I hope not because he's I don't know. So yeah. When it comes to Soul, I thought I'll give it a solid A. When it comes to Ricky Saints, I give it a straight D minus. The only reason I don't give it an F is because he actually came out the second time and at least some people saw him twice and actually felt like they needed to cheer or at least give him a reaction. So, but at the end of the day, it's bad. I don't wish him any bad luck. I hope he's successful, but it just wasn't a good look. I don't know why WWE did that, and this we're gonna see a lot because when they rush these people up, if they keep doing this, we're gonna see a lot of turnover, and we're gonna see
Yeah,
how a
no,
lot
you're
of these
gonna
are
see a
gonna.
ton.
How many
Because
people are gonna look at Alba Fire? Alba Fire was another one that they had a hard time bringing her up.
well, she became also because the Piper Niven injury, and then now Chelsea got hurt. I
Yeah,
think that really like, well, what else are we gonna do? I think
yeah,
that really hurt her a lot. And then thoughts and prayers out to Chelsea as well.
yeah.
She's going through like a serious ailment. I don't know what all not a doctor or anything else. Just
It's
you
like a
can read
heart
about.
condition or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's some kind of heart condition. I don't know how serious. I mean, serious enough to where it's your heart. So, but hopefully everything works out well for her on that.
All right. Now let's jump up to the next topic. We got two more before. Well, we got one more. We got two more. This one and another one, and then we'll do our backlash predictions. All right. So let's talk about this whole open challenge, right?
Oh, I love them.
And the reason we're going to talk about these open challenges is because we had an open challenge for Obafemi, and Obafemi
Yes, I loved it.
took him 10 hours to make it to the ring.
Yes,
Took
yeah.
him 10 hours to even start his music. He goes up against Otis, your boy, who I'm praying to God he isn't one of the guys they're gonna release because I don't.
No, they do too much community service stuff for WWE to get.
They don't
released.
care about that.
Him and Tozawa would go together, and
I don't know,
they're at
bro.
everything.
I'm
They're at
scared.
everything. Everything WWE community is always Otis and Tozawa. They're on there more than they're on Raw.
I mean, I hope they keep them, but they're still like think about this, and not to kind of fall back on it, but you got them, you got who's another? The Creed brothers. The Creed brother was another.
No. The Credo brothers.
Oh no, Lord.
Come on,
Okay, I get it.
Julian Credo.
But you start thinking about these guys, and again, I don't know about Otis and Tajawa. They probably are making a decent penny, but the Creed brothers are probably not making that much. That's probably why they haven't released them. But at least they came back this week. So Open challenge. Obafemi. You know, they had the U.S. Open, the U.S. Championship Belt Open Challenge a couple times before, when they had Carmelo and when they had.
Well, John Cena started all that. Well, not all of that, but he started the U.S. title open challenge in the WWE.
Correct, but they've brought it very. At least they calmed down now, right? They don't like.
They didn't
Trick,
calm down now. Now everybody's got.
no, Trick Williams said he wasn't gonna give everybody an open challenge.
Damn open. It's like a damn Oprah thing.
No. At least Trick was like, "Yo, we're gonna slow down on that. You gotta earn it, right? You gotta earn it."
Yeah, man.
And then you got, challenge. And now you got, and
those
then
damn. What do they do in AEW? The title eliminator.
Well, talking about AEW, AEW is also doing this damn open challenge with Darby Allin. So
with their heavyweight title,
with the most important belt, the most important one.
At least you put the U.S. title, and it's like, okay. But now your heavyweight belt is open challenge. What,
Sean? Number one, what is it with these damn open challenges? And number two, are you happy about them or are you sick of them? Because
no, I've always been sick of them. The only time that I did like the open challenges. When you didn't know, like for instance, when John Cena did his open challenge, you got Kevin Owens from NXT. You got Sami Zayn from NXT. You got, surprises. Now it's like, hey, oh, great. It's this guy again. Oh, here comes Carmelo Hayes again. Dragunov again. For the third time, he's answered the open challenge. And he's lost every one of them. No, it done. Finito. For AAA too. Finito. Done. Knock it off. Just done with it, man. If you want to have it, then just do away with it for a couple months at least. 6 months, and then you can bring it back for a little bit.
Well, what about the open challenge?
Now it's just become so like, it's just like.
And what about the Oba challenge? Do you think this is the right move for Obafemi?
I mean, it just kind of feels like what they did was. And again, this is another thing going back to the beginning now. People felt like maybe they asked Brock to take a pay cut, which is why he said, yeah, I'm done at WrestleMania.
Another way of them making money because Brock retired, so they don't have to pay on an arm and a leg, and they still got to make.
But remember, it was supposed to be the Brock Lesnar challenge all the way through. Now I feel they said, okay, well, he beat Brock Lesnar. Let's make it the Oba challenge.
Yeah, but
they're just feeding off that, I feel. But again, here's the only question I have for you. Who's dumb enough to answer? I'm not going to verse Sami Zayn for a U.S. title. I'm getting in the ring with Obafemi. I'm not answering that challenge. You're out of your mind.
And at least if you're going for the U.S. belt, you're going for something, right? Like,
yeah,
what do you win by beating Obafemi? Nothing.
There's absolutely nothing. You're not beating Obafemi.
Hey, you shouldn't beat Obafemi. There's no reason. I mean, the way they're.
But that's the other reason too. This open challenge is kind of ridiculous.
100%.
There's no chance of anybody coming out there challenging Obafemi and beating Obafemi at this point in time, unless Obafemi's one of the ones that didn't take a pay cut.
Why do they have a hard time finding a pretty decent storyline and a challenger for Obafemi? Why? There's plenty of guys out there.
I mean, you again in NXT when all the eyes aren't on it, you can make some storylines for Oba.
I mean, Oba went against Ricky Saints. Oba went against Trick Williams. Oba went against the Don.
But none of those stories are going to be believable on the main roster under all these eyes. It's not. It's not.
Well, you also had the championship belt involved in those storylines.
Well, yeah, but I mean, but even though like to me, I thought one of the big mistakes they made on the Saturday Night Main Event was Cody beating Oba.
Cody did not beat Oba.
What was it?
It was a no contest because Drew McIntyre.
That's right. That's right. You're right. I'm sorry. Thank you. That's right. You corrected me.
But
that's right.
The problem again, I don't understand why they can't go ahead and they can't create a storyline for this guy. Why? Okay, look. If you wanted
Brock Lesnar,
look, you could have
have like the Undertaker. You got to have
Sean
week in and week out. Who is going to be the monster that can come up to Oba and lay him out every week or do anything to him? That's again.
Well, you could have put in Rusev on him You could have put in Sheamus. We haven't seen Sheamus in a while.
Well, maybe Rusev will be his first actual like feud. Everybody they're feeding to him now is just so they can beat him and move on.
Otis, you're telling me that you could not have him accidentally go in the back and bumped into Obafemi and then maybe created a little bit of a storyline before they just did an open challenge for him? I feel
remember,
lackluster.
Tozawa answered the open challenge and then stood in front of him and then changed his mind.
Correct. But again, that could have been done in the back. That could have been something you kind of like created in the back.
You don't waste TV time. You got to find another match. You're not allowed to do that many matches on Raw. Come on now. You know how this works.
That's because they don't want to. Funny enough, we'll talk about this in a minute. But
must pay for that time.
I was talking to my friends, and my friends told me back in 2002. You want to know how many matches were in Backlash?
Sure, probably back then. 10?
10 matches.
Yeah.
10 matches in Backlash.
Vince usually did between 8 and 10 matches on his pay-per-views.
And now look at this
But
pay-per-view.
They were rushed a little bit. Like I remember WrestleMania 1. I don't even know how many people remember this. Do you remember what the first match of WrestleMania 1 was? Actually, maybe not the first match, but one of the matches on it. Like the undercard was terrible for WrestleMania 1. Like for what it's turned into.
Wasn't Hulk Hogan fighting against Roddy Piper in WrestleMania 1?
That was the main event.
Yeah. I would have to look at it.
I'm getting it right now. I got it right here.
Mania 1 card.
I got it right here. Hold on. Ready? Here's the card. Your opening contest. Ladies and gentlemen, your first match of the night. Hold on a minute. Where we at? Let's see. The opening match. Tito Santana.
Hell yeah.
Versus the Executioner.
That's a good match.
The next match.
I like that one.
King Kong Bundy.
Oh, banger.
Versus Special Delivery Jones.
That's a good match too, Sean. Those are two good matches.
Match number 3. Ricky Steamboat took on Matt Bourne.
I don't know who Matt Bourne is, so
this was before Matt Bourne became Doink the Clown.
Okay, yeah. So there you go. That Ricky Steamboat is good though.
Yep. The next match, David Sammartino, accompanied by his father Bruno Sammartino, took on Brutus Beefcake.
With his scissors, baby. It's a hell of a match.
Actually, I think that might have been before he was the barber.
Yeah, I think it was before.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it definitely was.
The next match was the Junkyard Dog versus Greg Valentine for the WWF Intercontinental Champion.
Oh, that's a banger of a fight too. Greg Valentine, I remember him in the Junkyard. I didn't know he was in the main pay-per-view back then, but he was just out there in the regular shows. But hey, I guess he was big back in WrestleMania 1.
Then we had the WWF Tag Team Championship.
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. Express, Mike Rotundo and Barry Windham took on Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik.
Oh, this is a banger of a WrestleMania, bro.
All right. The next match.
Damn, I'm just saying.
A body slam challenge between Andre the Giant and Big John Studd.
Yes.
The winner who body slammed who got $15,000.
I like it. That fight must have lasted like 5 minutes.
The next match. Wendy Richter,
Ah.
Cyndi Lauper, and Lilani Kai versus managed by the Fabulous Moolah at the time. So it was Lilani Kai and Wendy Richter.
That was they sold that fight really well too.
And then it was the main event of the night.
Mr. Wonderful out there, baby.
There you go. The Hulk Hogan and Mr. T took on Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff with Cowboy Bob Orton.
Yo, that was a stacked WrestleMania. I don't know why people criticized it and said that it wasn't that good of a WrestleMania.
Ooh-wee. You know what I almost feel like? I feel like I need to see what WrestleMania 2's card was.
I think WrestleMania 2's card sucked. I think you can't live up to expectation with WrestleMania 1. WrestleMania 1 was good. That was a good card. Take it all day.
Oh, this was the one where it was like three different.
Oh my God, where they were like televising it in like different locations.
In L.A.,
Chicago,
and New York. So the New York crowd got Paul Orndorff against Don Morocco. Then Randy Savage against George Steele. Jake Roberts versus George Wells.
That kind of sucked.
And the last match was the boxing match between Mr. T and Roddy Piper with Joe Frazier and Lou Duva. That went 4 rounds before Piper body slammed Mr. T. In Chicago, it was the Fabulous Moolah and Velvet McIntyre. The second match was Corporal Kirshner versus Nikolai Volkov. The third match was the 20-man battle royal that included the NFL players, Jimbo Covert, Bill Fralick, Russ Francis, the refrigerator, William Perry. Some of the wrestlers were Ted Arcidi, Tony Atlas, Bret Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, the Killer Bees, King Tonga, Big John Studd.
For Rumble vibes.
The last match in Chicago was the WWF Tag Team Championship match of the British Bulldogs against the Dream Team of Greg Valentine and Brutus Beefcake. Ozzy Osbourne and Lou Albano accompanied the Bulldogs.
Shout out to Ozzy Osbourne.
And then in Los Angeles, Ricky Steamboat took on Hercules.
That sucked.
Adrian Adonis, seconded by Jimmy Hart, took on Uncle Elmer.
Bad.
The Funk Brothers, which was Terry Funk and Hoss Funk, faced the Junkyard Dog and Tito Santana.
My boy Tito, baby.
Yep. And in the main event, it was a steel cage match. Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy.
I also have... Check this out. It's so funny. Check this out. The Paul Orndorff and the magnificent Morocco.
Yep.
4 minutes and 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Randy Savage match was 5 minutes and 10 seconds. Yep. Jake Roberts match was 3 minutes and 15 seconds. The Mr. T one with Roddy Piper lasted 13 minutes and 14 seconds.
Yeah, because it was 4 3-minute rounds. Like they did the boxing, and it really wasn't a lot of action. It was just Piper running around and doing his stuff, but it was good.
Moolah was 1:25. Oh, and still the Becky Lynch one probably, and AJ Lee probably lasted longer. Corporal Kirshner and Volkov was 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Andre the Giant.
2 minutes and 5 seconds too much.
Andre the Giant, the one he won the WWF versus the NFL Battle Royal, 9 minutes and 13 seconds. The Bulldogs versus the Dream Team, 13 minutes and 3 seconds. Ricky Steamboat, 7:27. Adrian Adonis fight with Jimmy Hart. That one was 3 minutes. The Terry Funk one with his brother and against Tito, my boy, and Junkyard, 11 minutes and 42 seconds. And Hulk Hogan and King Kong Bundy went 11 minutes. So we were bitching about all these matches going short, but hey, man, back in the day, it used to go kind of short too. But this WrestleMania sucked because they were having horrible production.
They were just regular cards, really.
Yeah.
They were like soup cards where that was the one night where every kind of main event you could have would take place. It wasn't the WrestleMania we have today. I mean, that was not back then.
And back then, and if I'm not mistaken, they had production issues, right? Like they were having some difficulties going from one side to the other. I think that's why that WrestleMania didn't do so well, because since they were recording it in different locations, it was very, they would do a match
in New York, then go to Chicago, and then they kind of finished in LA because New York and Chicago, you could start earlier and you had to wait till later for the LA crowd to get there.
And they were all live, right? All three of them were live?
They were live. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, they had to do, because the LA crowd, I think, was late arriving.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to go like match, like kind of alternating.
Yeah.
But there was a couple times where they didn't go to LA right away because the crowd, I think, got there so late it would have looked empty. It would have looked like a boxing match in the beginning, or MMA when you first go to a show and you watch the prelims. There's nobody.
And not only that, but if I'm in LA and they do a match in LA and then all of a sudden we got to go to another match outside of the Chicago one, let's say, What the hell are you doing during that whole time?
Well, they
Just
are
sitting
showing
there?
it on the jumbotron.
Yeah, that's boring.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what's
but
the point of me paying to
yeah,
go to a live
yeah,
show if I'm gonna watch it? I could have been watching it at home.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's
all
why
right,
they never did that again.
absolutely.
Although there has been talks
Oh Lord.
that this next WrestleMania,
Hmm.
well, not the next one, but the one after, I guess technically, this one's supposedly being in Saudi, unless something changes. But the next one, there's talks where night 1 and night 2 might be in 2 different locations.
Really? Because I thought the next WrestleMania after the Saudi was Nashville. It's not Nashville.
It's Nashville for night 1 or 2, and then the other night will be somewhere else.
That's so shady, bro. Like if they do that, what a slap to the fans, bro. It's
Well,
ridiculous.
again, you have to remember they're paying over $100 million for the WrestleMania. The Saudis are 100 and something million dollars, 150, I think it is. I think it's 75 a night. Nashville's bidding is at 5.7. It's greed, it's money, but that's what you get.
I remember we're technically there's. I saw Nashville was on there. I think New Orleans was back on, and then one of the other ones that they were.
So they did a Nashville, New Orleans WrestleMania. Night 1, night 2.
That would be messed up, in my opinion. But and then the crazy thing is that you saw Orlando's trying because Orlando put in a bid as well. So
Yeah,
Orlando,
yeah. Miami can't do it anymore. We don't have enough parking.
same thing goes with the Super Bowl.
Yeah. We're out. We're out. That damn F1.
All right. Last topic before we jump into our picks. Of course, WWE. They didn't feed us Dan Housing this week. I mean, on Monday. I don't think I saw him on Monday Night Raw.
He got beat up. Miz acted like he was his friend, and then they beat him down.
Oh,
and
Monday.
then,
That wasn't on Friday. I thought
was that Friday or was that Friday?
I thought that was on Friday.
Oh, then maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think
I
that was on
rewatched
Friday.
some of the episodes today. I may have mixed them up. Yeah, because Miz is SmackDown or Raw.
Mrs. SmackDown.
But I could have swore I saw on Raw, Danhausen goes and asks Adam Pearce
Is
to
it
make
Adam?
a match. Or was it Nick Aldis? Because I watched back to mind myself some of the stuff, but I never paid attention to who he was actually talking to.
I believe.
I'm sorry. I may have totally messed this up on.
I believe it was on SmackDown, if I'm not mistaken. I don't.
Yeah, Eric says he thinks Danhausen's gonna be SmackDown full time now. So
Yeah. So
Looks
we
like
didn't get Dan Housing on Monday Night Raw,
Raw.
which is good. We
yeah,
but
do so
then
much.
we get all of a sudden the breaking news
Oh,
of
the greatest news ever, baby.
which is John Cena making another appearance in Backlash. And then he's gonna reveal something amazing, something
Yes,
incredible.
another amazing, incredible.
Well, first of all, what do you think is what he's gonna announce? And then second of all, are you think that they're milking Dan Housing and John Cena? And people are gonna get tired of these two.
You know what? No doubt is right. He called him the foreign Adam Pearce. That's right. So it was Nick Aldis. So I'm sorry. Now I do remember the foreign Adam Pearce is where I think I got confused. Okay. So I think John Cena is going to say that he did not take a pay cut to be there. And that's what is amazing. And what was the other part of that? I'm sorry. I was thinking of that the whole time. I'm sorry.
Are the fans gonna get tired of John Cena
Yes.
and Dan Housing if they keep using these two for everything now?
Well, I don't think so because they do it comedically. Look, Danhausen to me is like what Jericho is. I don't want to see Danhausen in the ring every pay-per-view. I don't want to see him in every SmackDown. No, you do. After that, again, you lose the lore of everything. It's cool to do them, do the little things. You are cursed and all this stuff. I don't need to see him every week in the ring. Hopefully that's not there. I don't know. I think they got a good little year or so before people, I think, finally get tired of WWE needs to get some eyes on the product. Here comes John Cena. Or here comes The Rock. Or here comes the Glass. You know what I'm saying? It's usually take about a year of constant. But he's become their ambassador, I guess, now. I guess in case of
Didn't he
emergency.
sign? He signed
In
that.
case of emergency, break John Cena and have him come out there. But I think
Are they sold out in Backlash or no?
probably not.
Let me add, so here's my situation with Dan Housing first. I think with Dan Housing, I don't have a problem with them bringing out Dan Housing. I just don't want to see multiple things of Dan Housing. Like I think they had that little video where with Miz, it was like part one, and then they went to a part two, and then I think it loses its mojo when you do that. I don't have a problem with Dan Housing doing it just once, and they do like one skit or one segment, if that's what they want to do outside of the WWE, or
Oh no, dude,
backstage.
that stuff was good, man. The stuff with the Miz when he broke in his house
Again, it was
and he
fine.
stole his Miami and stole the kid's bike.
Part one was fine, but then you start doing part two. I feel like you're trying to make it comical more than once. Like it's fine doing it like one segment. Just run the whole little promo thing in one shot, and that's it. Like if you keep like in first hour you give us a little bit of Dan Housing, then in the second hour you give us more Dan Housing, and then third hour or last half an hour you give them another Dan Housing. You're gonna bore me out. You're feeding me too much. That's why I think R-Truth always worked out, because R-Truth would come out every once in a blue moon and he would do his comedic. He still does it, but he'll do his segment. I feel like they need to do that with Dan Housing. Just you bring him occasionally like that, since he's the talk of the town and he's very big right now. You could do it at least in every other show. That's fine. But I feel like if you keep feeding us continuously like too much Dan Housing, it's gonna burn me out. When it comes to John Cena, he is the ambassador, but I don't know, man. I don't know what kind of contract he signed with TKO. He probably sold his soul, bro, because you got him in WrestleMania, and then all of a sudden he's in Backlash, and dude, I don't know, man. And John Cena is he is a company man, so
And they probably gave him stocks. He's happy.
they probably did. So
They
they
gave
had to
him the
give him.
stocks. That's it.
They had to give him something, but I don't know, man. I think it's a little bit too rushed to bring John Cena, but again, maybe it's because they're having a hard time selling tickets at Backlash. I don't think they're sold out in Backlash. I think they still need a lot. I looked at cost. I looked at the tickets at Backlash, and they were pricey as hell, man. I'm not gonna lie. For it to be in Tampa, I thought it was
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah. No. Any PLE now is like, and again, you're getting 5 matches, and they're going to be done in 2.5 to 3 hours. So,
yeah.
and you're going to get paid spots up the ass. So,
But if you didn't why didn't they not announce John Cena, and they could have just added another quick match? You feel me? To give the fans a wrestling match. You feel me? Instead of having John Cena come back out and just whatever
because they
he
think
said.
people are going to run now and buy tickets to see Cena come out and say, "Welcome to Backlash." Backlash crowd of 42,621. Oh my goodness! What? Somebody's music's coming? Oh, I'm sorry. It's 42,622.
Oh, the greed, my friend, the greed. I just wish. I feel like there was no need for John Cena to be at Backlash, but like you said, man, I feel like they feel like if John Cena shows
I
up,
do believe he lives in the Tampa area, so
he
it
does.
may have just been. I think he still lives in Tampa or Orlando somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, I think he does.
Let me see. Where does John Cena live? I thought he lived in L.A. It says John Cena's primary residency is a luxurious gated mansion in the Nature's Reserve community in Lando Lakes, Florida, located within the Tampa Bay area. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. I
You
thought so.
called it.
Yeah.
Called it. So
Yeah,
maybe
so
that's
it's kind of
why.
like he's just home. So that, hey, Cena, you gonna be home this week? Yeah. Hey, you want to come over and put some asses in the seats? Thanks.
It says the fans are going to be pissed when Cena doesn't come out with Danhausen. History repeats itself.
Oh no, but that's any report I've heard that actually I've heard they've put out a rumor on from WWE on who it's going to be. A small tidbit of information, and that tidbit was they love money.
Okay. We know who that could be. All right. Sir, let's talk about it, man. Let's
Yes,
go and
Spencer, you
jump
can
into.
stalk Cena.
Let's talk about our
Oh,
backlash, right? What you want to say? NXT will be in Fort Pierce near May 22nd. I want to take Luke, but my wife thinks he's too young at 6. I feel it's perfect age.
the NXT is very mild, very.
Yeah.
Uh, it's like a indie on steroids, where it's very product driven, production driven, and I mean, I went to the Watsco Center, and they didn't run. I thought they were running in the Watsco Center. They ran in the little hall beside the Watsco Center that sat maybe 150 people, and it was very, very calm. Very, I think that he could handle it. And the thing I was saying was, I don't know if you saw this or not, but our boy, if I'm not mistaken, I need to.
Hold on, while you continue with that, NXT. If you're gonna go to an NXT show, it's free as well. So you just gotta put your name in there and make sure they pick you because it's free. So you can tell your wife, "Hey, I'm not paying anything to go take my son and go watch NXT." Maybe that will seal the deal. You can't get anything for free nowadays. Everything costs bread. I hear what she is saying, but if you parent that shit right, you couldn't pull it off. What? I hear what she is saying, but if your parent, what? If you parent that shit, what shit right, you could pull it off. I don't. Maybe he misspelled it. Do you understand what he wrote?
Hold on, man. I'm trying to go there. Hold on. Who wrote
But
what?
if
I'm sorry.
no doubt, he says, I hear what she is saying, but if your parent,
No, he's
that,
saying if you parent that shit right, you could pull it off. Meaning,
oh, okay, I
if you
got you.
parent the kid right, you're fine at 6.
Gotcha,
That
gotcha,
is
gotcha.
what he's saying here.
You said it. You said it a lot
You
better.
gotta you gotta watch out. That no doubt talks the YouTube street talk.
I was missing
You
the.
gotta
I,
watch
I
it.
I need the commas. I need the commas. I got the mostly you don't let him go out in the yard and practice. Oh yeah.
All right, so it was announced yesterday, or no, 2 days ago, on Star Wars Day,
Gotcha, no doubt.
that somebody will be joining the CCW roster in Tampa, Florida, this upcoming Saturday for CCW Havoc and Hayes on May 8th. Actually, it's a Friday Friday, May 8th. Zilla Fatu
Oh
will
yeah.
be on the card joining them. Also, Big Trouble Ben Bishop, Matt Taven, Cha Cha Charlie, Jackal Stevens, Monster Mosh, a WWE ID showcase match between It's Gal and Mike Cunningham. So a lot going on there in Tampa, but Zilla Fatu will be in the area.
Yes. Zillify too, which might play a big part
Oh yeah,
in
oh yeah,
Backlash.
Yep.
All right, sir. Well, Backlash start time 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific. It's this Saturday.
First hour on ESPN2 again.
Of course, they got to make their money.
Got it.
All right, sir. So, which card are we gonna? Which match do you wanna tackle first here?
I think the match that's going to start the show, the U.S. Championship. Actually, no. I think it's going to be Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker. But we're going to go in this order that I have here. I'll read them out to you.
Yeah.
You let me know what you think.
All right.
Asuka versus Io Sky.
Well, when it comes to Io Sky and this Asuka storyline, rumor is that Kairi Zane might do a one-off, and she might show up in this matchup to kind of close her story with Asuka and Io Sky, which in my opinion would make sense. Only if you keep her. Like, I think this would be a perfect time to bring Kairi Zane and then have her maybe betray Asuka, maybe betray Io, maybe hit both of them. I don't know. I just don't know. Obviously, she's with Asuka, and Asuka's always like manhandled her. For me in this case, if for example Kairi Zane does show up obviously Io Sky would win because Kairi Sane would go and hit Asuka, get her payback for all the way she's been treating her all this time, and she finally stood up to her. If Kairi Sane does not show up, I still think Io Sky is gonna win. I just feel like she needs a win, and it will catapult her to possibly get a title shot somewhere in the future. So I'm gonna go and say Io Sky wins this one.
I agree with you 100%. There's no way Io Sky loses this one. Hopefully this finishes the feud, and hopefully it turns into something. I would love to see somebody attack Io after, and Asuka come and save her, and they reunite, and then they start making a run. I don't know. Whatever. I don't want them fighting each other anymore. I'm tired of it. I've seen it for the last 7-8 months almost, it feels like.
No Kairi Sane return for one night?
Look, if she comes, if she doesn't, I would love her to get this chance to finish that story at least. But I think if she does come, Io wins. If she doesn't come, Io wins. This story has to end.
Yeah.
And it ends with Io Sky. That's the only way to make it happen. All right, next match. The United States Championship. Trick Williams, Sami Zayn, the Gingerbread Man Killer.
No, I'm also excited about the funeral. You know, the memorial that they're gonna do on Friday. So I'll definitely be tuning in.
The Lemon Pepper Steppers will be on.
You know, at first when I saw the Gingerbread Man, I thought that was really dumb. And then I started liking it, and I was like, "Yo, this is really,
it comes off good.
it's
It's
really
just
good."
so stupid. It's entertaining.
It was actually really good. And then when you know they broke the news to Trick that the ginger, I felt so bad. I was like, "Damn, why did they kill him?" I actually wanted him to actually
Come on,
continue.
man. That's how you write somebody off TV right there.
Yeah, you literally kill him. So I was so disappointed, man. Damn it. I'm very, very excited to see what happens on Friday with the Gingerbread Man, bro. And remember, there was a point in time last week where we all actually had a storyline of the Gingerbread Man against Roman Reigns. So the Gingerbread Man could have gone very, very far in WWE. Just saying. There is no way in hell, in my opinion, that Trick Williams loses this. He just won the belt. It would not make any sense for Sami to just take it over. I don't know. Like, unless they run it back again, but I think Trick needs to move on from Sami. I'm gonna go and say you can't kill his buddy, the Gingerbread Man. You can't go ahead and kick Little Yachty's ass and knock him out. I mean, he's beating everybody on his corner. I'm okay with them beating the crap out of Little Yachty, but I miss the Gingerbread Man. You can't mess with the Gingerbread Man. He's going to redeem himself. He's going to fight back for the Gingerbread Man. Trick Williams wins all day.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I don't know that we're going to change a lot of this, our takes on these finishes here, but I think we get the reincarnation of the Gingerbread Man on Saturday with Little Yachty inside the Gingerbread Man.
You can't
He comes
do that.
out, he saves Trick Williams, and he takes the Gingerbread Man head off.
It's not Jesus.
Done. And then it's done, you know, because you bury the Gingerbread Man. But then all of a sudden, a haluva kick is set up for a victory. And all of a sudden, Sami glances over, and there's a Gingerbread Man right there in the corner. I'm telling you, it's going to happen because it's WWE. Trick Williams wins with the help of Little Yachty as the Gingerbread Man. Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker.
This one's a little bit difficult, man, because I like Braun Breaker a lot on this match. And this story has to keep going. This is not something... I think if Seth Rollins beats Braun Breaker, it defeats the whole purpose. I think this story... I like the feud between these two. I think it needs to keep going. You know, Braun cost Seth at WrestleMania. I feel, you know, Paul Heyman on his side. I feel, you know, the Vision still alive, I guess. with
It's a
Logan
blurry
Paul.
vision, but it's there.
It's there, you know. They want to fire Logan Paul. I mean, come on, man.
I love Joe Hendry. So that's good stuff.
I'm gonna go and say Braun Breaker wins this one. I think Braun needs to win, so I'm gonna go with Braun Breaker. Keep the storyline going. He'll cheat his way to victory.
Yeah, I think Bronson Reed's been very active on social media. I don't know where his injury stands, but he was very silent when he first injured, and now the last couple weeks he's been back in talking about things. So I don't know if it's this one, but I agree with you. Braun Breaker has to win this for this feud to keep going, which is why Braun Breaker wins. I think you see a lot of shenanigans on this. Maybe the Street Profits come out and stop the Logan Paul Theory attack, and then Bronson Reed comes out of nowhere and secures the win for Braun Breaker. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. This has to keep rolling.
Okay.
The match we all want to know: Kit Wilson and The Miz take on Danhausen and the mystery partner. So now you get 2 points on this one. The person that's going to be the surprise partner and who wins.
I mean, if WWE was smart in a way, I would bring the Gingerbread Man to be his partner. That's just me, though, just to make it more comedy out there, right? Like the Gingerbread Man. But obviously, in my eyes, there's only one person, and it's the person who vouched for him to come to WWE. His best friend. At one point in time, Danhausen allowed him to use his boots while he was in AEW. So I say that the guy who comes, and of course you gotta sell tickets, you gotta make money, is his friend is gonna be CM Punk. So I feel that Danhausen partner will be none other than CM Punk. And then as far as the victory, come
So
on.
you must have Kit and Miz winning then, right?
Absolutely not. Come on, man. That's all day. Danhausen, CM Punk take the dub. That's what I got.
All right. So you know what's interesting is they said this guy loves money. And I said, man, they're bringing the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase back. Then I said, wait, no, his son was in the audience at WrestleMania. Mr. DiBiase Jr. No, not going to happen. Then I said, wait, why all of a sudden is my X feed filling up with Shane McMahon stuff?
Please, don't tell me that.
But what would he do there? Why
Tear
would
it.
you want Shane there?
Mess up his knee again.
Yes. Said that he loves money. Like I that's the part where like I'm kind of confused on the thing because I don't know who the hell loves money.
Well, CM Punk came on when he first came to WWE, and he said, "I'm here for money."
That's true. That's true. That's true.
That's why I say it's CM Punk, because he said, "I'm not here to make friends or anything. I'm here to make
Eric
money."
and no doubt both said no doubt had Obafemi and CM Punk. Eric said CM Punk, Joe Hendry, or Obafemi. I almost feel like you have to have one of those three as a star power, right? You need, like you said, you want to have names on it. You brought John Cena in to be. I wonder if the mystery is going to be revealed on Friday.
Well, Sean,
To get last minute walk ups, because it doesn't make sense for your surprise to be CM Punk when you can say it's going to be CM Punk and Danhausen and sell more tickets.
well, Danhausen did go on X, and he did tag Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Undertaker, AJ Styles, John Cena, Steve Austin, Kurgan, Stardust,
Yep.
and Papa Shango.
Yeah, he did. He hit all of them. I saw it. I saw it all.
It could be any of those guys too.
Yeah.
Talk to me, sir. Who you got?
Oh, man. I don't want to go the same as you, so I'm going to go. I don't think it's going to be Oba, but Joe Hendry's Raw too, right?
Joe Henry is Raw because he's going after Logan Paul.
Yeah. See, I feel like if they're going to keep Danhausen SmackDown, it needs to kind of either stay SmackDown or be somebody that's going to be going to SmackDown.
Okay, think about it this way: who loves money, or who has referenced that they love money in WWE? Let's see. Who loves money? WWE. Anybody in particular? Besides Ted DiBiase.
Yeah.
Here we go. It says, um, they said Shane O'Mac could be one. Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, fits the profile. CM Punk is another one. Anybody else? Somebody who loves money by Michael. Historically, the phrase is linked to Shane's entrance. Here comes the money. Yeah, everybody's saying Shane
No, I
McMahon.
know. I know, but I feel like that's a wasted opportunity.
All day, man.
Trying to think like NXT. Was there anybody that was money, like a money guy?
How about Triple H? He loves money.
Virgil passed away, Chad.
You know who it could be? It could be somebody from TKO.
They love the money. They love the money.
Maybe
It could be somebody dressed up. It could be Nick Khan somebody dressed up as Nick Khan.
maybe The Rock.
No way. The Rock teams up with Danhausen, right?
Backlash, baby. Backlash.
I mean, John Cena is showing up to get paid, so apparently he loves money.
Maybe somebody who won Money in the Bank. Maybe somebody who won a Money in the Bank. Maybe Naomi comes out of the blue. Says, I'll go into a all male match with Dan Housing. I don't know. I'm just throwing out different stuff that I can think of.
I'll go Shane O'Mac.
Seems kind of whack, Sean.
It is whack. It's Shane O'Mac.
Seems kind of sad. Maybe you know who it could be, Sean?
I hope I lose this, by the way.
Maybe it's Trump. You know, he was in the Hulk Hogan documentary.
He loves money.
He does love money, that's for sure.
They can bring his son out there, right?
We didn't talk about the Hulk Hogan documentary.
No. I figure we'll say that when we have more time because we're already at 8:00 already.
Yeah, we're over 2 hours already.
Yeah. Roman and Jacob Fatu.
Very simple, man. Zilla's there. Makes perfect sense. The last Backlash, the last two Backlashes, we had interferences. We had JC Mattel come in. We also had, I believe it was the other guy, Tangaloa. Tangaloa who also came. So both of them revealed themselves in Backlash. So it only makes sense that they're going to keep the tradition and bring out Zilla. But instead of hurting, obviously, Roman Reigns, I feel that he's gonna go after Jacob Fatu because in the Indies, Zilla and Jacob Fatu were tag team partners. So it makes perfect sense for Zilla to turn on Jacob Fatu because Roman has been saying, "Hey, look, you know, you're out of the bloodline. You've been doing all this crazy stuff. He's money hungry and all that stuff. So what better way to bring out a feud with Zilla and say, look, I brought one of your closest friends, one of your closest family members here, and he's on my side, not yours." And it could lead up to, you know, this storyline dragging a little bit more. Because if Jacob beats Roman, then this story is pretty much, where's it gonna go? I guess I don't know. Unless like we spoke earlier, you know, WWE hates.
There is. If the rumors are true that there is a ruffle, we'll know by Saturday night.
Yeah.
The end of Saturday night.
But in my eyes, I feel like that was just some smoke. I think they'll clear the airways and we'll see our tribal chief win on Saturday night. So I got Roman Reigns.
Well, I honestly think Roman leaves Tampa, the champion. But I want to have one other, in case we both miss. Who the hell am I kidding? Roman.
Do you feel Zilla's going to get involved some way, somehow?
No, I just think that's a fluff there. I think it's he's going to be there. I think, you know, but I don't think he gets involved. I don't know.
Well, yeah, remember the last two Backlashes, you've had people get involved.
Yeah, but I think it'll be somebody. If they do that, it's going to be somebody, I think, different than Zilla. I just don't know that many people. It'd be like Ricky Saints doing it.
Well, I think Zilla Fatu would get more of a pop than Ricky Saints, to be honest with you.
Maybe.
Plus, they also got rid of, you know, Mattel and one of the Tongaloa. So, like, if you got rid of them, you know, all you guys Talatonga and Solo. So what better way than to bring Zilla in there, maybe, and then have him third or something. So I feel like that's why because I don't see where they could go with Talatonga because he's massive. But what is it? Just him and Solo? I don't know. I don't know if that would work. I think they need at least another person. So that's why I think Zilla will make an entrance some way somehow.
Eric said Shane didn't show up for his sister's Hall of Fame induction, but will show up for Backlash. well, the thing is, he loves money. He's getting paid to wrestle in Backlash. He wasn't getting paid to show up for his sister's Hall of Fame induction. So maybe that's part of the thing why they sent out he loves money. I don't know. I hope it's not Shane O'Mac. I'm just saying, but like I don't think it's gonna be Joe Hendry. Like I would love if it's Joe Hendry, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Danhausen and Joe Hendry taking on the Miz and Kit Wilson.
It could be Carmelo Hayes.
You know, and Oba is over enough to where why do you bring him out to help Danhausen? Like that's the part where I'm trying to work it into that end of it. Carmelo Hayes might be a good one.
Yeah, because Melo don't miss, right? And Melo is
Yeah.
about money too, right?
Yeah, and Melo don't miss. He is about money. Yeah, it
And
might
Melo
be.
Melo once said Melo is money too.
Yeah, Melo is money.
He did say that once, so it could
Yeah.
be.
And again, I wouldn't be upset with that. I mean, again, the problem is every time somebody hears mystery, they think it's going to be an oh shit moment.
Hey, what about if it's damn?
Oh, I'd be happy as hell. Ron Simmons come out.
Ron Simmons would be amazing if it's him.
Oh, you know what? It could be the whole APA. Him and Bradshaw could come out because Bradshaw loves money too. That was his gimmick, right?
It could be just be Bradshaw.
Well, it could be, but I mean, if you did like Bradshaw whips their ass and then just have Ron Simmons at the end be like, damn.
That would be good. That would be very good. I think we're not gonna get all that though. I think we're gonna get.
I think we're over. That's what I was saying. I think it's gonna be like Melo might be a good option. I think it's gonna be somebody that is in SmackDown, so that it can continue a story with Miz and Kit. Because to me, this will end the story of Danhausen with Miz. Because what do you do after that? You can't keep going with the Miz being cursed the whole time and all this stuff. So I don't know.
I mean, JBL is not bad. JBL would be a good one.
And he has been wrestling in indies, doing well, basically going in and getting clotheslines on people.
Yeah, because I don't think I've seen anybody else. No, well, wait, is Cody fighting in this?
No, he's not on the card. But again, like I
Could it
feel
be
like if you go-
Stardust? Come back as a Stardust?
Oh shit!
That would be pretty cool.
Would he do that? Would Cody do that? He hates it so much. Would he do it for Danhausen? Would he bring back Stardust for one night only? Wow, that's an intriguing one.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be, and he would love money if he did it because he's probably going to get paid extra.
Yeah, because he's on the top, right? He doesn't want to lose his
Yeah.
spot. So what better way than to do it like that?
Exactly. Look, everybody, please God, give me Stardust. That would be the greatest thing. If they could do something where it's like an elevator or something, and then he does his whole. Oh God, that's so great. That's so great. They could work it with Danhausen somehow.
I went
I'm sure we'll all
online.
be disappointed.
Somebody said it could be Mr. Iguana, but look, I got a connection with Mr. Iguana. There's no way Mr. Iguana makes it.
And he's green. He's green like money.
He is green like money, but
But is there anybody in AAA that is a money like character? I don't know enough of their characters there to know
no,
everything.
no, I haven't seen anything. I mean, I'm looking online right now. Some people said Mr. Iguana. Some people said JBL. Some people actually wrote Braun Strowman. I don't know why.
Well, they got the thing, but that would be like more of a SmackDown, a SmackDown, not a pay-per-view, because he's going to have the show after SmackDown. When it goes back to 2 hours, it's going to be that Strowman show that is following it.
Well, maybe if they want to go out, this is a good one. Top Dollar? Maybe. Hey, it is Florida. It is Florida. I mean, I don't think he'll get a great pop out there. Maybe he busts his ass like he's done before. But
I mean, that's true. It's TNA, so yeah. I mean, I guess you could, but
that could be one.
I just don't know how he fits in with the. Again, I'm trying to think of it like also moving on. storyline wise, which I'm probably way off on. They might just be doing this just to do it. So
Ilya Dragunov? I don't think he's mentioned anything about money. I don't think so.
he's a dragon.
Yeah, he's a dragon. So I don't think that. I like Stardust though. I that would be good. That would
That
be,
one's got me now. That's the leader in the clubhouse for me.
Ric Flair.
Yeah, he loves money. He needs money, but he's got an issue right now. He can't do anything with WWE because he did something with El Grande Americano.
Not the original El Grande.
Yeah, not the original. Yeah, the other one. The other one. He called him, said he couldn't wrestle and everything else.
I tell you, would kick his ass.
Yeah. So, and IRS is recovering from a stroke, so I don't know that he will be. Last I heard, he was in rehab.
All right, I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna say CM Punk, and I'm gonna go with a second option to spice it up. I'm gonna go and say Mr. Iguana. Something tells me maybe there is a chance that Mr. Iguana might make it. So I'm gonna put CM Punk and Mr. Iguana as my choices.
All
You?
right, so yeah.
I'll give you a second chance. You got you said who did you say? Shane O'Mac?
You know what? I'm gonna put it out there, and I'm gonna take him Stardust.
Dude, that would be amazing if it was Stardust. Stardust.
Because I love. Listen, if I was there writing or you were there writing, this would be like the best, most talked about segment on the planet after this.
That would
Because what you could do is you could show up. Cody pulls up and be like, "You are cursed," and he doesn't realize that he's putting on the Stardust stuff
that's
to
so
team
good.
up with Danhausen.
That is so good.
And then when the match is over, you can have somebody in the back and then like have Cody be like, "Oh, what? Ah," and look in the mirror after he wipes off some of the Stardust pain, be like, "What the hell happened?"
He could curse him on Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah.
Curse him on Friday night, and then all of a sudden you get him on Saturday.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Pretty good.
I like it. Let's do it. Let them know where they can get you, Frankie.
All right, you guys can follow me over there at that Frankie Fresco. Frankie Fresco on all social media platforms. Fresco Music on X, Instagram. On YouTube is under Frankie Fresco. On X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, it's Fresco Music. So follow me at that. And of course, don't forget to follow my boy Sean Stanley. He'll mention his tags in just a minute. And then all you guys that tuned in, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit the like on both of our channels. And don't forget to subscribe on both of our channels. And share. If you guys are on X or on Facebook or on Instagram, please share us out there. Make sure if you like our show and you want to share it, please, man, we really appreciate it. We can't do this without you guys. We're always very grateful to be here and be able to talk to you guys wrestling.
You can follow me at SS_Sports Talk on X, Stanley Media House everywhere else, Stanley Media House Network on YouTube. Don't forget also to hit the Frankie Fresco YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe, like, notifications. Appreciate each and every one of you listening on X, Twitch, Facebook. Don't forget to jump over to the YouTube channels, Stanley Media House Network or Frankie Fresco. Hit that subscribe. And we thank you all for tuning in. No doubt Chad was in. Eric was in. As always, appreciate you guys being in the chat.
Your dad?
My dad. Tu Papa was in. Somebody just passed him. Oh, no. Sorry. Let's see who else we got. Karoon was in.
Oh.
Adrian was in. Adrian, I didn't even see you, man.
I didn't even see
Appreciate
Adrian.
you, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Oscar was in. And appreciate each and every one of you that tuned in tonight. And don't forget, every Wednesday we'll be here talking some wrestling. And in the words of the great Gordon Soley, what? Oh, somebody, hold on. Late chat. Oh, called out my dad. In the words of the great Gordon Soley, so long from the sun, shine, state.